A major commentary shakeup this week for AEW Collision on TNT. Details on that and why that is the case. Nick Aldis officially signs his WWE contract now that he is the general manager of Friday Night SmackDown on WWE television. Christian Cage defeats Bryan Danielson to retain the TNT title last night on Collision. Samoa Joe retains his Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Chris Statlander retains her TBS title. Logan Paul calls out Rey Mysterio after a successful boxing match victory last night. A Kenny Omega match has been announced for next week's episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Adam Cole updates his fans after undergoing his first of several ankle surgeries, and a Collision match was scrapped due to an injury. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Tony Schiavone, as he is now seemingly the lead play-by-play announcer for AEW Collision. There was a shake-up in the commentary booth last night for AEW Collision, as a familiar voice was added to the broadcast. Joining Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness, Tony Schiavone sat in the center and led the broadcast with his voice opening the show. Although Kelly and McGuinness had been the main announce team throughout the show's short history thus far, AEW Collision has featured a variety of commentators at the desk, in part due to the absence by Kelly whilst covering New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax. Now, Kevin Kelly's several-week absence in July and August was covered by Ring of Honor commentator Ian Riccaboni. The other Ring of Honor commentator, Caprice Coleman, also appeared on Collision once over the summer alongside Kevin Kelly on the August 26 edition of the show. Jim Ross has also been a temporary member of the commentary team for specific big matches. He was on for the main event last night as well on TNT. With Schiavone leading the broadcast rather than just being a third man, it would appear this is intended to be a permanent change and not just him joining the team for one night. Of course, we'll keep you updated if we get any more updates on that. But what did you think about Tony Schiavone being added to the broadcast team? Is this a welcome addition? Schiavone once again doing play-by-play commentary on TNT on Saturday nights. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know your thoughts on the change in the comment section below. Now, this week saw the WWE TV debut of Nick Aldis as the general manager for Friday Night SmackDown, and a bit of an update on his WWE future. After years of rumored interest from WWE in Nick Aldis, the former NWA and TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Aldis joined the company this summer as a producer. Up until this week, it was on a trial basis, but Fightful Select can confirm that he signed on with WWE in an official capacity and is no longer a free agent. Aldis, interestingly, was not listed on the SmackDown producer reports, and will obviously have a clearer picture of if he'll continue in that producer role in the coming weeks. However, he was revealed on the October 13 episode of SmackDown as the new SmackDown general manager. Adam Pearce has produced and worked on screen as a talent for several years. However, MVP was originally brought in to be a producer before moving to be exclusively an on-screen talent role. So it could be either or when it comes to Aldis. Again, if we get any more information on that in the coming weeks, we'll let you know. Now, those backstage in WWE have told Fightful that Aldis has been easy to work with and willing to make the most of the WWE opportunity, and others have said that he was eager to make that work in whatever role he was given. What are your thoughts on Aldis' performance thus far, and do you think we'll eventually see the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion wrestle inside of a WWE ring? Now, going back to AEW Collision last night, the main event was Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. Now, go all the way back to the opening segment of Collision, which, by the way, on the Fight TV broadcast was marred with satellite connection issues. In the opening segment of Collision, Adam Copeland came out and was quickly joined by Christian Cage. Cage addressed the crowd and stated that in the interest of having a fair match, Bryan Danielson's Blackpool Combat Club teammates wouldn't be present for the TNT title match later on in the evening. Danielson emerged from backstage and said that Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne were also banned from ringside. The three were later joined by Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and FTR, and a tag team bout seemed like a possibility. However, that never materialized, and Cage's and Danielson's scheduled title match took place in the main event. Both men seemed tentative to start the bout, which was their first ever singles encounter. Danielson gained control and went for the LeBell Lock, but Cage escaped and left the ring to regroup. When Cage finally returned to the ring, he began working over Danielson's arm. Danielson went for a top rope maneuver, but Cage moved. As a result, Danielson appeared to re-injure his right forearm when he landed on the mat. Cage recognized that Danielson was in considerable pain and again attacked the injured body part with a hammerlock slam on the ring apron. Danielson delivered a series of headbutts, even hitting one from the top rope, and the champion was briefly bleeding from his forehead. With Danielson in control, he went for the running knee. Instead, Cage hit a spear and a kill switch for a near fall. Cage tried going for another spear but was unsuccessful. Danielson regained control and applied the LeBell lock. This brought out Big Bill, who distracted the referee long enough for Ricky Starks to hit Danielson with his title belt. Cage secured the victory, and then Danielson was attacked by Big Bill, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. FTR and Adam Copeland ran out to save Danielson as the show came to a close. What were your thoughts on the main event, and where do you think this leaves Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson, Adam Copeland, FTR, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill moving forward? Samoa Joe was back on AEW Collision last night, successfully defending his Ring of Honor World Television Championship. In Toledo, Ohio, Samoa Joe wrestled Willie Mack for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship in the opening match on AEW Collision. The match was only the first time the two have wrestled each other since a November 2013 Championship Wrestling from Hollywood event. The match started off fairly slow, with both big men attempting to one-up each other. Eventually, Samoa Joe took control. The match soon spilled to the outside of the ring, where the pair traded chops. Samoa Joe maintained control throughout the majority of the match, but Willie Mack did catch Joe by surprise and briefly controlled the bout on more than a couple of occasions. Towards the end of the match, Mack hit Samoa Joe with a stunner and climbed the ropes for a frog splash attempt. However, Joe quickly recovered from the stunner and met Mack at the turnbuckle. From there, Samoa Joe clinched the victory using his muscle buster finishing maneuver for the victory. It wasn't the only title match last night, as Chris Statlander has retained the TBS Championship as well. Sky Blue and Chris Statlander met in a TBS title match on AEW Collision this week. The match was the first time the pair had ever been in the ring together for any kind of match. The bout started off with a quick and back and forth amount of action. At one point, Blue hit a neckbreaker type maneuver with the champion caught between the top and middle ropes. The match then spilled to the outside, where Blue maintained control. Back inside the ring, Statlander took control and hit a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. However, Blue fought back and hit a power bomb on Statlander, who she was lifting from the top rope, but then went for a crossbody block from the top rope, but Statlander caught her and hit her with a power slam. Moments later, Statlander hit her Saturday Night Fever finisher to win the bout and successfully retain the title. After securing the victory, Statlander attempted to help her challenger up. However, Willow Nightingale ran into the ring and prevented Statlander from assisting Blue back to her feet. Instead, Nightingale and Blue left the ring together, possibly paving the way for an alliance and more problems for the TBS champion in the near future. Now let's switch gears and talk about WWE, specifically Logan Paul, who was successful last night, winning by disqualification, even though he won all 5 rounds in you can barely call it a boxing bout, to be honest. But nevertheless, Logan Paul took time to call out a WWE champion after the wild finish to his boxing bout against Dylan Dennis. Despite dominating throughout the actual fight, Logan Paul will still be noted as having won the bout via disqualification after a wild brawl erupted to end the fight. With Dylan Dennis continuing the fight between rounds, security descended on the ring as WWE-style pandemonium broke out. However, after the conclusion of the wild fight, Logan Paul had some thoughts regarding his WWE future in his post-fight remarks. Being interviewed by Ariel Helwani, Logan Paul said that boxing is his hobby and he has actual goals in WWE, including naming a specific champion and a title he has his eye on. Calling out Rey Mysterio, Logan Paul says he has his eyes on the WWE United States Championship. It's unknown when Paul's next WWE match will be, but Crown Jewel is in Saudi Arabia. That takes place on November 4. Survivor Series in Chicago takes place on November 25. Of course, Logan Paul has been a part of several Saudi shows thus far. The last time he was at a Saudi show, of course, the last Crown Jewel event, he was at this time last year, he took on the undisputed WWE Universal Champion in Roman Reigns, unsuccessfully challenging for that title. Rey Mysterio has since responded to Logan Paul by tweeting, quote, "Did Logan Paul just call me out? I'm not hard to find, homie, every Friday night on SmackDown." So possibly we're going to be getting Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio in the near future for the United States Championship. Now, Kenny Omega, he has a match set for this coming week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. On last night's AEW Collision, several matches and segments were announced for this week's upcoming edition of Dynamite. With Dynamite set to return to the normal Wednesday night time slot for the October 18 edition, the card for the show has begun to take shape. Announced on last night's Collision, there will be segments featuring Sting addressing the fans, as well as another segment from the timeless Tony Storm. A singles match for Kenny Omega was announced as Kyle Fletcher continues his impressive run of matches, after recently subbing in for Sammy Guevara to take on Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega alongside Konosuke Takeshita. Fletcher then had a singles match against Bryan Danielson. Also announced for Dynamite, a sit-down interview segment featuring Jim Ross speaking to Nick Wayne and his mother. There will also be the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal, where the winner will face MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. We know two of the participants thus far in Juice Robinson and Dustin Rhodes. Jay White is also announced set to take on Penta El Zero Miedo on Dynamite as well. Adam Cole has provided an update on his ankle surgery. AEW star Adam Cole has provided his fans an update on his condition after having reportedly undergone surgery on his ankle. Taking to Twitter, Adam Cole wrote on his video game streaming channel page a message directly for his fans. Cole writes, quote, "I'm okay, #Chugs Army. This is going to be a long and challenging road, but your love and support means the absolute world to me. I hope you all know how much I appreciate it. Hoping to be back on stream next week. Most importantly, I hope you're all doing amazing. I really do." Of course, we wish him the very best in his recovery. Adam Cole effectively shattered his ankle during a running angle to support MJF during the AEW Dynamite Grand Slam main event, which may require multiple surgeries in order to properly heal. While he hasn't been at AEW television, Cole continues to be featured in pre-recorded vignettes alongside Roderick Strong and The Kingdom in recent weeks on AEW programming. So as I mentioned, the best of wishes go out to Adam Cole as he recovers from his ankle surgery. Finally, a bit of an update on a match that was scheduled to take place last night on AEW Collision, but didn't. A match was seemingly scrapped from last night's plans for AEW Collision after previously being announced to take place. One of the matches that was being promoted for Collision was the AAA Cruiserweight Champion Commander facing off against Brian Cage. However, obviously, during the broadcast, it was noticeable the match didn't happen and it was stopped being discussed and ended up being scrapped. Now, Tony Khan took to social media, which you can see on the screen right there, and said, quote, "Due to a late injury, this Commander versus Brian Cage match has been postponed. Thank you all watching AEW Collision tonight on TNT." Now, again, we don't really know the reasons why, apart from just a late injury. We don't know who the injury was to or anything like that. Of course, if we get any more details in the future, we'll let you know. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.